Hello and welcome to the Circle of Love with Shakisha Etnis. I was asked to drop in and to speak on a certain topic. Actually, it was two topics, so I'm gonna do two videos today. One topic, a young man inboxed me and asked me, how did I find the Lord? How did I give my life to Christ? And I thought that was very interesting for a young man to inbox me and ask. And it's been some time since I've taken the time to do this message. So forgive me for not doing it sooner, but I will say this. As I've said in previous videos, that I was not a child that was taken to church. I was not, my mother and father didn't bring me up in the church and take me to the church every Sunday. And I wasn't brought up going to Sunday school. And, you know, that's not my story. But I was taught how to pray. My mother taught me how to pray. She taught me how to get on my knees and call out to God. And she also taught me that prayer wasn't always getting on your knees. It was when you were walking, you could pray within. You don't have to pray out loud. You're just speaking to God. So I would say as a little girl, I can remember my mother being abused by my stepdad, and I love him dearly, but you know, it's just, this is my testimony. And I remember crying, you know, in the pillow, just saying, Lord, please, please, God, make him stop beating my mom. Please don't let him kill my mother. And I can remember the noise becoming silent, where he wouldn't hit her anymore. And I began to believe that I was speaking to a higher power that I wasn't able to see, but I was able to feel. And I was very young at that time. I'm saying around 7 or 8 years old. But when I became older and I was in an abusive relationship, and I used to call on God even in my quiet time, you know, Lord, I know this isn't what you have for me, you know, and I know I should make better decisions, but God, please don't let this man kill me, you know. And I found myself one day making a decision to no longer be abused. Now, let me explain where I'm going with this. Now I become, you know, that was my way of getting to know God. Be, you know, walking as a little girl, 12 years old, walking the streets, you know, when my mom was on drugs, looking for her, I would talk to God 3 o'clock in the morning. Lord, please cover me. Please don't let nothing happen to me. Please don't let nobody rape me. Please don't let no one find me dead. You know, and that's how I began to just communicate with God and build a relationship with him. But then when you get to know him, this is when I really got to know him for myself. Okay. It's when I was laying in my bed and I was in a gay relationship of 6 years and I wanted out. I wanted out because I knew that that was not what God had for me. And I began to call on the name of Jesus in my bed. I wasn't at the altar. I built an altar in my room. And I began to call on the name of Jesus and ask God to forgive me of my sins. And Lord, please, Father, please, God, break this generational curse off of my life. And people can say what they want to. I'm not here to bash anybody that's, you know, in a gay relationship. Because guess what? I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. I'm just answering the man's question. When I began to pray, because I was out of order and I knew differently than what I was doing. I knew what I was doing was wrong. When I began to call on the name of Jesus, he met me in my bedroom and he forgave me. And since then, I have not looked back. Now, have I committed sin? Yes, I have. Have I done things out of the order, out of God's order? Yes, I have. And I have corrected things, but I have drawn closer to him and closer to him and closer to him. And I will say, young man, that is how I found God. And I began to speak to him on a regular basis. It wasn't just to say, thank you for waking me up this morning. Lord, bless me with some money. Thank you for paying my bills. No, I do know him as a provider because he has kept my black behind better than I could ever keep myself. Even when people turned their backs on me, God was always there. He made my enemies my footstool. Yes, he had. He didn't put more on me than I can bear, though it was things that I didn't think I could handle. God, he definitely knew what it would do and how it would shape and mold me to being the woman of God that I am today. Amen. So I would say that, I know I didn't go to church every Sunday. No, my mother didn't raise me in the church. And I'm not saying, that something's wrong with that. I'm just saying that was my walk. But she taught me how to pray. She taught me how to pray. She taught me how to speak to God. She didn't teach me no certain particular prayer. And, so many people say, well, I don't pray like you. You don't have to pray like somebody else. Do you communicate with your Father? Do you have a relationship with him? Because guess what? That is what it's all about. Having relationship with your Father. So I pray that I answered your question. And from that day to now, I have been seeking him and drawing closer to him, that his will be done. That when I stand before my Father, I will be empty of every gift that he has placed in me. So when he look at me, he can say, job well done, my good and faithful servant. So with that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Circle of Love with Shakisha Etnis. Thanks and God bless. And I look forward to you seeing me again. Thank you for your support, your shares, your likes, and your comments. Thanks. Have a great day.